Okay, we were doing a statewide counting program. Okay, a statewide counting program, we have control counts and coverage counts. Okay, and when we were doing it for limited network studies, we were using two factors: adjustment factors and expansion factors. In statewide programs, we have only adjustment factors, no expansion factors. Okay, in the previous lecture, before the exam, we were using, or we were calculating the adjustment factors for each month and each day of the week. Okay, so there was one example in which we calculated the adjustment factor for each day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. And then there was another example in which we calculated the adjustment factor for each month. Okay. In this example, we will do both. We'll calculate adjustment factor for each month, and we'll calculate adjustment factor for each day of the week as well. But I did not start it last time, although we had time, because I need to explain the data. On the same segment, they have taken traffic data in two different ways. So the first table is showing you one study, the second table is showing you another study. In the first table, you see how many months of data? 4 months. And in each month, you see 7 days of data, right? In each month, 7 days of data. Okay. In the second table, you see the data for all 12 months, and again in each month you have then write it, but it's there mentioned here that this data is taken in the 3rd week. Okay, so in both cases the data was taken for 1 week. Here every 4th month, and here every month. Okay, now these values, so each value in table 1, the first table, the top table, is the value for 1 day, right? So for example, you see the first value 2000 on Monday. Okay, when you look at the second table, you look at the value 2250. Is this for 1 day or 1 week? How can it be 2207 days? Because scenario. So they took the data for 7 days and they gave us what? Average of those 7 days. Got it? Each value in table 1. Okay. Now, ADT is what? You take the data for whichever number of days you have, you add it and divide by the number of days, right? This is what we did in the previous 2 examples. Okay. So you have the data for whatever number of days, you take that data, add it, and divide by the number of days. Okay. Now, as I said, each value in table 1 is taken for each day, right? And each value in table 2 is an average of 7. And I need to add all these values. I need to add all these values. When I'm adding values from table 1, very simple, add the values. Take each value and add it. What about table 2? How did I calculate this value? 2250. I took the sum of 7 days, divide by 7, right? Now if I want the sum back, multiply by 7. Okay, so each value in table 2 should be multiplied by 7. Okay, so all the values from table 1 plus each value from table 2 multiply by 7. Okay. So that will make how many days? Total. Okay. 7, 14, 21. Total number of days. I don't need to check your papers then, right? How? Is it written there? No. 7 by 12? 7 by 12. Yeah, 7 by 12 here. Plus, how many days? 7 by 4. 7 by 4 is 28 plus 84, right? 28 plus 84 gives you 112. Okay, so we have data of 112 days. You add the values of 112 days, you divide by 112. Clear? Do it. Okay, add all the values of table 1 as it is. Okay, then you write the number somewhere, then you add all the values of table 2, and those values must be multiplied by 7, and then you add both tables and divide by 112. I have people from section 1. Yeah, anybody from section 1? Okay, so I'm recording the lecture right now. Okay, so it's being recorded on Teams. So once I finish talking to section 1, okay, so you will find it on Teams.
So I have a question. Let's previous example, the one before it.
With the days of the week.
Yeah, they give us the average of these days in the whole year, yeah? Why didn't we just, like I tried to make some example, 5 numbers, I took their average, I got a specific number, and then what I say, I average 3 and average 2. And some of them, their average is not similar to whole average. But in that example, we assume that average of each will give us average of all. So is that assumption or what?
Yeah, there are different ways to do it. This is the way they allow it. There are different ways to do it. This is how they are allowing us to do it. Okay. But in this example, the problem is that we have 2 sets of data for the same location. We need to somehow combine it. If it was only this, it's very easy. You already have the average for each month.
And then
that's it. Yeah. But again, number of days should be the days for which you took the data. If I only take this, I divide by 84. So this data is for 84 days. 1958, when I was born. Okay. No, okay, I was just joking. Okay, I need to write it here. So AADT is 1958. Okay, that is fine. Acres per day. Okay, now we can move on to the adjustment factors now. Okay, now for adjustment factor, for example, if you're calculating adjustment factor for each day of the week, adjustment factor for Monday, Tuesday, and so on. I'll start with this one because it's the easier one. Okay. For Monday, how many values I have? 4 values. Okay, you take the average of those 4 values, it will be the average of Monday. Okay, can I take anything from table number 2? No, because the values are mixed. I don't know which one is for Monday, which one is for Tuesday. You cannot use it.
What were you saying? How for Friday Monday?
First day. That's it.
Oh.
Okay. So give me an average value for each day now. An average for each day. So you do the average for Monday, Tuesday, and so on. Okay. Column wise average from table 1. Okay, let me do something. You keep on calculating, okay? I'll take the values. Monday and then Tuesday and so on. Let me open a file so that so then you cannot see it. Okay, so Monday is how much is Monday? 1925. Okay. Tuesday. Friday. How much? 21. Okay. Then for the adjustment factor, we take ADT 1958 and divide by each value. Okay. How much? ADT divide by the average of the day. $19.58 divided by 19 something, the Monday value. 1.02. Okay. 1.07. Wednesday. Which one? Friday? 1.1. 3. Which one? Saturday is 1958 upon 1400. 1958 upon 1400. So 1 point something. 1.4. Okay, Sunday. 2.1. Okay. Sunday is not here. Where is it then? We didn't calculate Sunday. Huh? Then she did. What is the value for Sunday? I think the factor is correct. What's the value for Sunday? How much is the value for Sunday? How much for Sunday? No, the average is 912. Very big difference.
If they are Wednesday, 0.9.
2.14 is for Sunday. Fine. And you are saying Wednesday is what? What? How much did I write? 0.92. So 1958 upon 2140. 0.92? 91? Come on.
The general equation of the adjustment factor is the average of all data.
AADT. If you are talking about statewide counting program, then the equation is AADT upon the average of the thing for which you are looking for the adjustment factor. So the numerator is AADT always. The denominator depends upon what you are looking for. What adjustment factor you are looking for?
Thursday 1.0.
Huh?
1.00.
And how much did I write?
0.98.
Thursday is 1958 upon 1912. So it will be 1 point. How much?
1.02.
102. Did you understand the procedure? Okay, don't worry about the values. Did you understand the procedure? Okay, how did I calculate it? Okay. We'll check the values later on, no problem. Okay, now adjustment factor for each month. Adjustment factor for each month. Okay, so then I need to calculate the average of the values which are available for each month, right? I start with January. Okay, how many values I have for January? 8. 8. No, 1.
Which table? Both or one?
You already went up to 8, so both tables.
7 single values.
Yeah, 7 single values, and then we have another one which is an average of the 7 values. So total values 14. Total number of values 14. The other 7 are already averaged. Okay, so we will do the same thing which we did with ADT for January. 7 values of January we added from table 1. Okay, and how did we get 2250? The sum divided by 7. Now if I want the sum again, I will multiply by 7. Okay, so values added from the first table, simple addition, plus 2250 multiplied by 7. How much? All the January values. So table 1 only gives me 1 week of values. Table 2 has another week. I need to add both of them, and then I divide by what? 14. Seven values from table 1, and the value in table 2 is an average of 7. So from average I need to convert it to sum again. So for average you divide by 7. So convert to sum, I will multiply by 7. Okay, so all the values from table 1 for January plus simple addition plus 2250 multiplied by 7. And then total addition divided by 14. 2032. Okay. February, how many values? 7. For 14 there is no data from table 1. So For February, 14 values were taken, and for February 7 values were taken, and the average of those 7 values is 2,200. Should I do anything else? No. In February, data was taken for only 1 week, and the average of that week is given. Yeah. So for February, this is the average. That's it. March, same. Okay. When it will change? When you reach April. April, you repeat the process of January. You add all the values plus the value from table 2 into 7, divide by 14. How much? You add them plus value from table 2 multiply by 7 and again add them with table 1 and then you take that. But in case of February and March, no need because there is nothing in table 1. And whatever we have in table 2 is already an average. Okay, give me an average for April. 890. 890.
So, is it okay to take the average from the table 1 and just add it to the value table 2?
No.
Or just the average?
Huh?
So, maybe average plus average.
You take average from table 1
January average table 1 plus
that one, then divide by 2. You need to do divide by 2, right? Okay. There will be slight difference. Okay. Now keep in mind, there are different ways to calculate average. Okay. If you have some like condition like this, there are different ways to calculate an average. The way which we are doing is allowed. Okay. There are other ways to do it, like what he's saying. Take the average from the first table, then add it in the average of the second table, then two values divide by 2 again. Okay, this is another way you can do it. Okay, but they did not adopt this method in the book, so we are not doing it. Okay, reason they know, Allah knows, right? Okay, so it doesn't mean that, for example, if I do it with the first method, I will get 2,000. If I do it with the second method, I will get 4,000. No, because in both cases you are calculating what? Average of the same values. So the method of calculation will have some difference. Okay, so we have to rely on the method which they are using, because values are not so different. If one value was giving you 1,000, the other value is 4,000, so obviously we know there is a problem now in the calculations. But if you adopt any method of doing the average, the values are very close to each other. Okay, so we have to just rely on one method which they are recommending. Okay, okay, April.
1.91.
1. What is this?
19 or
19. Okay, then again nothing required for May and June. We jump to July. So what's the average for July? Yeah.
And the last one, 10.
Which one?
October.
Why are you adding October now? For future. I was talking about this guy before the exam. If you see any question in the exam, which you feel we did not do anything like this in the class or in the previous semesters, okay, and you want to know who is responsible, this one. Okay, literally. If I announce an exam now, they start asking me weird questions from now onwards. Okay, how much? For July, how much? Okay, then October. Average from the first table, no, sorry, sum from the first table plus value from the second table multiplied by 7, all divided by 14.
One
194. Okay, now the adjustment factors, very simple, right? You have the A dt divided by the average of the month. Okay, so for example, if you are doing it for January, it will be 1958 divided by the average of January, which is 2032. Okay, how much is it? Just for the record. Okay, just calculate two values then, and then we'll move on. How much is it? 96. Okay, now for February, what we will do? 1958 divided by what? The value which is given for February in table 2, because there is no other value, and that value is already an average. Okay, you have only an average value, so just take it. How much is it for February? 0.89. Okay, you got the idea? Okay, so you will do it for each month then in your own time. Yeah, any questions? Okay. Now, we are talking about a statewide program. State means the entire country. Okay, and then we have the road network for the entire country. So you can imagine how many segments we will have, right? Okay, and then we have a restriction of the ratio, 1 control point to 20 or 50 coverage points. Okay, so even if you maintain the ratio of 1:50, you may have hundreds of control points, right? And on each control point, you will calculate these factors. This is the aim of having the control points, control counts, to find out the adjustment factors. Okay, so if you have, for example, 1000 control points, then you will have 1000 sets of adjustment factors, because each point will have for each day of the week and each month of the year. So you can imagine how many values you have. Okay, and to work with those values, it will be complicated. Okay, so just trying to work with two tables, and it can be confusing. We forgot Sunday, right? How can we forget Sunday? We can forget Sunday. It's working day for us. We cannot forget Friday. Okay, so it can be confusing. Database will be huge with the values. Okay, how can we compress the database? How can we make our life easier? How can we reduce the number of values? Okay, now first of all, you will collect the data, you will calculate adjustment factors like we just did. Up till now, we cannot do anything. After you calculate adjustment factors, now there is a control count on Sheikh Salman Highway. There is another control count taken on Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Highway, okay, or Saklal Highway, anyone which is close to Sheikh Salman Highway. Now you look at the two sets of adjustment factors, and you feel they are very close to each other. This one and this one, because it's the same area, same type of highway, so these factors are very close to each other. Why should I keep two values? Why should I keep two sets? Why not merge them into one set? Okay, so instead of having a factor of Monday from this and this, I will have one. Okay, it will be easier, right? So instead of having two factors of Monday, I will have one. Okay, and similarly, I just give the example of 2 points. If I find another third control count, which also has similar factors, then I can merge them. This process is known as grouping data from control counts. What data we are grouping? digestion factors. Okay. Why we are grouping them? To make our life easier. And how do we group them if they are similar to each other? Okay. Now grouping means what? I gave you 4 points. It has 4 values for one day for the adjustment factors. How do you make it into one? You take an average. Clear? Grouping means instead of using different values, you take the average of the different values for each day and each month. Up till now, very clear? Now this is on the basis of what? That this factor is similar to this factor, right? Now what do we mean by similar? How close? Within a certain range. How much range? We don't know. Right? Okay. The range comes from the average. You feel they are similar, it's your judgment. Or you feel they are very close to each other in terms of space. This is here, this is very close, same area. I feel they can be grouped together. So I group them, meaning I take their averages. Okay. Then I compare the average with single values. Okay. So for example, you have an average for Monday. You compare the average of Monday with single values of Monday. Okay. And the difference between the average and the single values is within this range. Then grouping is allowed. This range. But this is not the difference between one value and the other value. This is the difference between the average and each of the values. Got it? Okay, let me show you a very quick example. We have 4 control counts. On each control count, they gave me what? Adjustment factor for each day. So we have 7 adjustment factors on each control count. Okay, I want to group them together. Okay, so I want to have an average factor for Monday and Tuesday and so on. Clear? So average means I will take an average. You can see they already took the average as well. They already took the average. Okay, so in this example, we are just verifying if the grouping is valid or not. Okay, so look at the first table. They tried to do the grouping for 4 points. So according to them, these 4 control counts can be grouped. Okay, either they were very close or the values seem very close to each other. Now we are checking, can we do it or not? Okay, so we started with the assumption we can do it. The difference between the average and each value should be less than plus minus 0.1. You can be 0.1 above or 0.1 below, but not more than that. Okay. The first average, the average of Monday, 1.01. Now you compare it with the 4 values of Monday you have. The first value is 1.05. 1.05 minus 1.01 less than 0.1. It's 0.04. Right? Take the difference will be 0.04. So less than 0.1. Second value 1 minus average 1.01. The difference is 0.01. Fine. Third value 1.06 minus 1.01. The difference 0.05. No problem. Okay. And the last value 0.92 minus 1.01. It will be 0.09. 0.09 again. Okay. So Monday shows that grouping has no problem. Okay. So similarly, you will do it for Tuesday and so on. Okay. Now I'll just highlight where we have the problem. Tuesday, if you look at the values for Tuesday, 0.89 minus 1.02. Okay, it's 0.13, right? So it's going above my allowable range. Okay. Then which one? Yeah, Saturday 0.85 minus 0.98. 0.13. Problem. 1.21 minus 0.98. Problem. Okay. So I have these 3 values, and then I have another one, which is this one. Sunday. Okay. 1.1 minus 0.92. So it will be 0.18. Okay. Again, I have a problem. So in the entire table, I had 4 values for each day. I took the average of those values and then I compared with each of the 4 values. And then I found that from the entire table, there are 4 values which are out of the given range. I have one value here on Tuesday, location 4, on Saturday, location 1 and location 4, and on Sunday, location 4. Okay, these 4 values are out of the range. Okay, now first conclusion. If even one value is out of the range, this grouping not possible. Even if one value is out of the range. Got it? Clear? So when you got this one, Tuesday, out of the range, the first result is grouping of location 1, 2, 3, 4 not possible. Even with one value, you can get to this result. Then why?
For all the days,
Not possible.
all the days.
All the days. Okay. Either it will be total grouping or nothing at all. Clear? Okay. Then why did we continue? Because we had lots of time, right? We had lots of time. Nothing to do in our lives.
See which one has more.
Yeah. So grouping of 4 is not possible. Instead of 4, if I can have 3 grouped together, still it will be easier, right? So which 3 then? Okay. So we completed the entire check because to find out which station I can leave out. Okay. So out of the 4 values which are out of the range, 3 belong to station 4. The Tuesday value was out of the range from which station? 4. Saturday value was out of the range, which is station? 4. Sunday value out of the range, which is station? 4. Okay. Then there was one value which is from station 1. So station 4 is creating more problems, right? So we take station 4 out and then we recheck. Now with how many stations? 3 stations. And the check is the same. Now you calculate the average of 3 stations for each day and you check with 3 values for each average. Clear? Okay. And if all of them are within the range, you stop. If again, even if one value is out of the range, you cannot do the grouping. Okay. Okay, so in the next lecture on Thursday, you will tell me can we do the grouping of 3 stations or not? Okay. Thursday, next lecture, right? Yeah, it's something. Okay, I'm not taking the attendance because I didn't take class in the other section.
Now I can.